Hey guys, it's Patrick and I'm back with another video. In today's video, I will be talking about the current activity in the tropics, aka tropical disturbances, tropical storms, hurricanes, etc. Think of it as a current weather snapshot, but only focusing on the tropics. Now, before we get into the video, I would appreciate if you would like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay tuned for future content. Now let's get straight into it. First of all, the Eastern Pacific. On Tuesday, I talked about how activity was starting to ramp up with Tropical Depression 70 and Tropical Storm Douglas. What's happened since then? Well, 70 has dissipated after a very brief lifespan. Douglas has intensified into a Category 3 hurricane with 120-mile-per-hour winds, thus qualifying it for major hurricane status. And it might intensify into a Category 4 tomorrow before weakening. And the more distant future, all of Hawaii is in the cone of uncertainty, with landfall most likely on the eastern coast of the Big Island as a high-end tropical storm or low-end Category 1 hurricane. Exact impacts to Hawaii are currently uncertain due to how far away it is from landfall, but anyone on those islands should be prepared for heavy rain, wind, and rain early next week. Next, the Atlantic. There are 2 tropical cyclones active in the Atlantic right now. Tropical Depression 8L and Tropical Storm Gonzalo. I'll focus on 8L first, since it poses a more immediate threat. It is expected to intensify into a low-end tropical storm, thus earning the name Hannah over the next day or two, but it is expected to make landfall on the Texas coast close to Corpus Christi. The main threat from this system will be heavy rain, and several inches are possible in parts of southern Texas. What about Gonzalo? Its future is much more uncertain. We know that it's a high-end tropical storm, nearly 1,000 miles east of the Lesser Antilles, and is expected to enter the eastern Caribbean in a few days. Intensity, however, is much more difficult. It has some favorable conditions, such as warm ocean temperatures, and some non-favorable conditions, such as high wind shear and drier air, ahead of it. Should the more favorable conditions prevail, it has the potential to intensify into a decently strong hurricane as it enters the Caribbean. If the non-favorable conditions prevail, it will begin weakening and dissipate relatively quickly once it enters that region. Either way, it doesn't pose a very immediate threat to the U.S. just yet, but if it survives the Caribbean, a U.S. landfall is very possible due to very favorable conditions in the Gulf of Mexico. So that concludes the first episode of my Tropical Weather Snapshots, or TWS. Expect these to come out every Thursday from here on out, and as always, I would appreciate if you would like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay tuned for future content. Have a great day.